We asked storytellers to select a type of story and some words to inspire the stories that they tell.
I'm going to tell you a story about two very dear friends. These friends are characters who come from a story that my niece and I have been making up over the years. And their names are Starface and Mushhead. Starface and Mushhead were the dearest of friends. And Starface lived in like a beautiful house. Everything was kind of pristine and lovely. Her parents kept everything nice and crisp. Mushhead lived in the forest in a cottage that was much more rustic. And sometimes her family was there and sometimes they weren't. It was all a little ad hoc. They met in the middle always, by the strawberry bushes and by the trees. They loved to see each other. As soon as they would run into each other, they would always just break into the biggest pile of laughter. It was like you couldn't tell if their laughs were the pile or their bodies, because they'd just start rolling around laughing out of joy. Some people think that laughter is about something that's funny, but actually laughter can just be about connection. And Starface and Mushhead were just always so connected to one another that the minute they saw each other, they just couldn't help but laugh. And one day they decided, we have to go on an adventure. So they did. They went for a long walk. They packed up some baskets from Mushhead's house that were made out of twigs. And they packed up some canteens full of water from Starface's house. And they just went for a really long walk. They passed the trees, they passed the strawberry bushes. They went into a grove of birch trees, which was not their usual landscape. And I don't know if you've ever seen a birch tree, but they're very thin. They can't really support as much weight as, say, an oak tree. But Starface loved to climb, and she just couldn't help herself. She had to do it. So she climbed this birch tree, and Mushhead could hear some of these twigs start to snap. And she was like, Starface, please, I'm worried about you. I need you to come down. And Starface said, but you know what? I see a ribbon at the top of this tree. It's just floating in the wind, and I have to get it. It's the most beautiful thing. Its tips are red and purple, and the length of it is pink. And then in the middle, it just sort of turns translucent, and it looks like it's catching the sun on the most glorious sunset. And Mushhead said, I love your imagination and I love your curiosity, but I'm worried about you, please. You know, I just need you to come down. And Starface said, please just give me one more minute. I will get this, and I'm going to come down, and you're going to see, because I have a brilliant idea for what we're going to do with this ribbon. Mushhead said, if you don't come down in one more minute, I'm about to call your parents, because I am terrified. And Starface said, you've got to be kidding me. You know that's the last people we are going to go to talk to. Just give me one more minute. So Mushhead was holding the basket and the canteens and freaking out, just waiting. Just waiting. She couldn't even bear to look up there. But all of a sudden, she heard some feet and legs scurrying down the trunk. And she saw that Starface came back with the ribbon. She couldn't even imagine how beautiful this ribbon was. And Starface said, I know you were worried about me, and I appreciate that you were worried about me. It shows what a good friend you are, that you care that I'm safe. But I knew I could do it. And sometimes I wish you knew you could do things too. And right now I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with this ribbon. Starface took out her knife. That's right, she had a knife. It was wrapped safely. Don't be careless with knives. And she cut it in two, and she made them into bracelets, one for each of them. And Mushhead said, you remembered that all I ever wanted was something that I could look at and think of you when we weren't together. And Starface said, yeah, I had to, because when we're not together, I don't laugh as much. But when I saw this ribbon, the way it had all these different colors and it caught the light, that's how I feel when you and I meet up and laugh. So I really hope you love this bracelet. And I hope you remember that I'll always be there for you, and that you'll always be there for yourself too, and you can do more than you think you can. And Mushhead said, thanks, you're a very good friend, and let's keep walking. And they did.